Okay. Before you've mentioned your fallout with President Ruto. Of course, many people have never known exactly what happened. Would you want to tell us what caused the fallout?
Yeah. The two of us are totally different. I'm a very truthful man. I'm a very honest man. And I thought he was like me. And I must say, he's a very good actor. He deceived me and deceived all of us. And we thought he's a great Christian. He would be in church every Sunday. He would quote the Bible. He would talk to us with a lot of, conviction. And I swallowed a bit, and I believed he was the best man for the job. But once we got to the office, he came out as in true colors, as a dictator, as a businessman, as a ruthless politician, as a man who cannot keep his word, too many promises, too many lies. And we started having differences quite big, because I am not that way. And the people I had persuaded to vote for him started asking me very serious questions, and I couldn't have answers. So I started disagreeing with him on many things within government. With a lot of respect, I would go to him and say, boss, this is not right. Evictions and demolitions. When we were campaigning, we told our people there will be no evictions and demolitions. And if they have to happen, they have to be human. And we have to know where somebody will move before you remove him from where he or she stays. We agreed there will be no night demolitions. And these things started happening, and I had a big problem. Along the way, we abandoned what we had promised the people. We had come in with a promise of the bottom-up economic transformation, lifting people from bottom to up. But as soon as we got into office, we started overtaxing people. We started using taxes on luxury, on things that are not necessary. And the people started to cry. And because I'm somebody who listens to people, they would come to me, I would go to him, and he would dismiss me with contempt. And we couldn't have a good working rapport. But our real issues came during the finance bill of 2024.
Before we reach there, could I ask you one thing? I covered the elections just before 2022.
Yes.
And I remember one of the videos that I did, because I always do reaction videos, was a reaction video of no Rigathi, no Ruto. And from that, what I got from that video was, you are not his first choice for deputy president. The first choice was Kindiki. And apart from that, I remember, I think it was last week, Moses Kuria was on KTN and he said the same thing, that you are not Ruto's first choice. Ruto was twisted into it. And with that, the relationship started on shaky ground, because he felt like at that moment he needed you, because he needed the mountain. But you see, you are not his first choice.
No, it's true.
So, yeah. So,
looking back, I think so. One thing is that he had promised the running mate position to so many people. He's a very deceptive character, just like he has done today. Today, he has promised Kindiki, he has promised Joho, he has promised Wanga, he has promised GK Karaoke, he has promised more than 10 characters. Even that time, he had promised so many people. And he had promised me. He had promised Kindiki, he had promised Anwar Guru, he had promised Alice Wahome, he had promised Dende Nyoro, he had promised Justin Muturi, he had promised Musalia, he had promised Wetangula. And he was just playing around with us. I don't think I was his first choice. But I think, being a very pragmatic politician and practical, he looked at the whole configuration, and he was very clear in his mind that if he picked Diki, he would have lost the election. So it was convenient to pick Rigathi Gachagua and dump him later. In fact, I think the decision to remove me was made even before I was picked. I am totally convinced today that I was just a lander.
And you didn't see it coming?
I didn't see it coming. I'm a very honest person, and I'm a person who believes and trusts other people, because myself, I'm very trusting, and I'm a very dependable character. So I really felt we were together. But looking back, I can see that he didn't want me. He wanted a Rigathi running mate and a Kindiki deputy president. A Rigathi deputy president is God good for him, because Rigathi has a mind. And he's a very principled character. And I'm also a strong man like him. And I don't think he wanted that. So during that time, we had that issue. I went and said that he told me to get prepared and got his communication person, Hussein Mohammed, to help me to draft acceptance speech. And he asked me to come with my wife.
That's what I'm asking. Don't you feel like he felt twisted?
No,
Because I remember that time when we were covering it, everything was pointing at Kindiki. And then even by the time you're being announced, it's like 2 a.m.
No, he knew what he needed.
It was like at 2 a.m. So this no Rigathi, no Ruto protests
far from
must have pushed him.
Far from
protest.
Far from it. He knew what he wanted. He wanted the Rigathi. He was just managing the others because he had promised everybody.
So the protest came from who? Him?
Our people were protesting. But he had promised everybody. He was just managing the others. He had already called me and told me it's you. And asked his people to help me have an acceptance speech. Told me, come with your wife and your children. And I came in a suit. All the others did not come with suits because he had not told them. And then he pretended to consult everybody and kept it long so that all the people he had conned can feel that he has tried, but he has been twisted. But he knew, he was clear in his mind. He has done his arithmetic. He knew my persuasive power. He knew my mobilization skills. He knew I had the ear of the people, and he knew for him to get the mountain vote he needed regarding Gachagua. So he created an impasse, an artificial one, just to manage the other people. But he kept on telling me, don't worry, I'm managing it. Yeah, but we watch it too. Please give me time. He kept on doing that. My supporters were getting very wary, yeah, because they could see there is deception. But he was just managing the others. He had already made up his mind that the running mate would be Rigathi Gachagua for him to be president. Equally, looking back, he had decided he would either drop Rigathi Gachagua before 2027, just before, or in between. And I think what happened, his game was to drop Rigathi Gachagua during the second term. But halfway, he realized Rigathi Gachagua had become very influential. And he realized that if he lets him stay, yeah, by 2027, it's not possible to drop him. But it is the exact opposite. My being removed have made me 20 times popular than I was. Today, I enjoy the kind of popularity any politician would love in his life, you know? And when he was removing from office, he was told by Chongo and others, you remove this guy, crown ikitolewa ni mabati. This guy is only popular because he has a position. The people of the mountain are not interested in people. They are interested in positions. Once you get rid of him, that's it. 2-3 weeks, you'll never hear about him. But he didn't know the mountain because he's not one of us. And I told him, the people of the mountain hate betrayal. Betrayal has no remedy in the mountain. It's punished unapologetically. And even him, and he knows, he was a beneficiary of the community's distaste for betrayal. When the people of the mountain felt like Uhuru Kenyatta had betrayed him, they decided to punish Uhuru Kenyatta for betraying William Ruto and elect William Ruto as president. And I told him that time when we were just arguing, when I saw where he's going, I advised him, I said, my brother, I think you are making a mistake of your life. These mountain people hate betrayal. You are a beneficiary of the community's distaste for betrayal, and you are not one of them. They have punished one of their own to affirm you, and you are not one of their own. If you betray their own and you are not one of their own, they will punish you 100 times. What I told him has come to pass. Today, I was seeing meetings in Thika. His allies will not speak. None. Not Ichung'wa, not Alice Ng'ang'a, not Muratha. None could be allowed to say anything. And what he doesn't know, those people have nothing against Ichung'wa. They have nothing against Alice Ng'ang'a, nothing against Muratha. They were sending a message to him. But because he's president and our people respect authority, they don't shout him down. They shout his allies down, but they are sending a message to him. We are through with you. You betrayed the mountain. Nobody betrays the mountain and gets away with it. Okay. So let me once more say, that was his script. And I saw it later on when the first 1 year is when I started seeing signs that I had been betrayed, I was unwanted, and I would be shafted. But I put my foot down. I did what I needed to do. The rest is history.
So do you and the president hate each other?
I don't hate anybody myself, but I hate his actions. Abductions and extrajudicial killings, I hate because I'm a Christian. The 10 Commandments tells us, thou shalt not kill. I was very bitter with abductions and extrajudicial killings, and that is what made us disagree completely. And that is when he decided I must leave.
So
do you remember when when the finance bill came, I told him this thing is unacceptable, and the people of Kenya will not take it. And if you insist, there will be rejection, and we shall be left with an egg on our face. Please don't force it. He decided to force it. When it was forced, people said no. And then the GNCs came up with a protest. Then in the National Security Council, a decision was made, and I sat there to clamp them down. And I said, no, I disagree with that decision. I said, let's listen to these young people. They have a point. And what they are saying is what the whole country is saying. He said, no. So on June 25th, when the kids were massacred in Parliament, he called a press conference at night and said that these kids are criminals and they are treasoners, and he'll crush them. Still being in office, I went to Mombasa and called a counter press conference, and I told him off. I said, you can't kill these people. They have a right to say what they are saying, and these kids are not criminals. They are my sons and daughters. We should listen to them. That is what broke the camel's back. We never talked again. We would talk through SMS, through WhatsApp messages, because he felt it was total insubordination, and he felt I had ridiculed him publicly. But I needed to give my position to our young people and the Kenyan people that I was not part and parcel of abductions and killing children. I could not be party to it, and I had to disown it publicly, because if I didn't disown it publicly, today I will be carrying that burden. My hands will be full with blood of the GNCs. I'm very happy that I was vindicated. I talked, everybody heard me. Today, nobody can blame me for those killings.
Okay, but I'd ask, like, when did you start becoming uncomfortable with the extrajudicial killings? Like, do you know a specific period?
Yeah. I think I think around April 2024.
Because the reason why I'm asking you that is Ruto's acceptance speech talked about extrajudicial
Yes, he
killings.
did.
And he talked about the extrajudicial killings under Uhuru.
He did.
So that means that these extrajudicial killings were happening. Remember? So he said that this new government is going to come and there's not going to be extrajudicial. Then in 2023, remember there were protests, mostly in Kisumu and what? There were a lot of extrajudicial killings. Those are the people who got compensation this week from the courts. So do you understand why when you say you are against extrajudicial killings, it does not make sense to the average Kenyan? Because you're like, that was happening. No. It did start in 2024.
William Ruto and I were on the same page initially. We had promised the people of Kenya that extrajudicial killings will be a thing of the past, and the use of the criminal justice system to settle politics will never happen. Yes. And that is why it was in his inauguration speech. We were on the same page. As soon as we got into office, I started seeing this bad habit creeping back. And I told him, respectively, in private, boss, these are the things we promise, and things are getting out of hand. Please, let us not go into that direction. He didn't listen. So as we went on in early 2024, I started getting reports and concerns that a special squad of 101 people had been formed for the purposes of abductions and extrajudicial killings. And I told him no. So one day, the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya then, the Honorable Justin Bidan Muturi, came to see me as Deputy President. William Ruto was out of town. And he told me, my brother, my own child has been abducted. I have tried to call the IG. He is taking me into circles. I have called the DCI. He is taking me around. I have talked to the PS Interior. He's just taking him into circles. I have talked to the Director General of National Intelligence Service. He's not telling me anything. I have talked to Kindiki, who is a CS Interior. He's just lying to me. I am very unhappy. And I've come to complain to you as Deputy President.
This is 2024, yes?
2024.
Yes, because the reason I'm asking is 2023. In 2023, I don't know if you remember, but there was this even headline that Rigathi Gachagua is planning mayhem against protesters. That's Raila who said that. So this was around the 26th of March, 2023. There's a statement I remember you made where
that was an accusation.
Do you expect? No, you asked, like, do you expect the police to kiss the protesters?
No.
Yeah?
That was an accusation.
But you understand what that means? It means that when you're in government, you didn't have a problem with, because a lot of protesters were killed.
I had a big problem. I am a very strong believer in the rule of law. And stopping protests is one thing. Killing is another. I don't believe in killing. Protesters can be dispersed using necessary force, which is allowed by law. As Deputy President, you are not in charge of security. The security architecture of this country. The President is the chairman of the National Security Council. Deputy President sits there as a member. All the security agencies, the IG, the DCI, the Director of National Intelligence Service, the Director of Military Intelligence, the service commanders in the Army, Air Force, and Navy, are appointees of the President. And it is him who gives directions. The Deputy President can only intervene in security matters if given specific duties and instructions by the President. Those duties were never given to me at any one time. And I was a very great defender of the President in the first 1 year because I believed in him. And Raila and others felt that I was very strong. So they were in the habit of blaming me for anything that is going wrong. But going forward, as I've told you, when the AG came to complain to me, I told him to take up the matter with the President. And I monitored for him. And as soon as the President was back in the city, I told the AG, go and see him. He went and faced him, and his son was released. And from there, I went and told him this is wrong. So that by the time we were getting to June 25th, myself and the President were not on the same page in matters, abductions, and extrajudicial killings. And my public statement on June 26th in Mombasa is on record that I'm not opposing extrajudicial killings because I'm out of government. I opposed when I was Deputy President in office. And I was removed from office 4 months later. And this is one of the things that accelerated my removal. That is one of the things that made my relationship with the President very sore.
Okay, so during the same Maandamano of 2024, unfortunately, there are people who attacked former President Uhuru Kenyatta's farm, and there were accusations that you were involved in that. Was it true? And if not, then who would you say was in charge? Because the people accusing you are people you sat with.
It is not true because I never uttered anything to that effect. If you check, internet does not forget. The majority leader in the National Assembly, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, told Uhuru Kenyatta, is on video, that kama wewe hapana simamisha kutoa pesa ya kupanga maandamano, tutavamia hiyo mashamba yako na tuyachukue. 3 weeks down the later, mashamba ikavamiwa. Where do you blame Rigathi Gachagua? Did Rigathi Gachagua make any such utterance? I didn't. I am a very responsible leader, and I am a protector of property. I don't destroy property because I look for property. I'm a builder. I believe in building. I don't believe in destruction. Uhuru Kenyatta was president of the Republic of Kenya. He retired. And once our politics were over, I let him be. And I never attacked him. In fact, I went ahead to apologize to him for utterances that I made during the campaign period, because I found those utterances to a great extent were necessary and were too offensive. And since the campaign period was over, I did what a responsible leader does, and an elder for that matter. Uhuru Kenyatta is a senior elder in my community. I'm a junior elder in the community. And I felt that I had uttered words that were injurious to him and quite, disturbing to him and his family. And I offered a public apology. When I was Deputy President, I did not do it when I left office. I could not plan or have any reason whatsoever to attack the farms of President Uhuru Kenyatta. But Kimani Ichung'wa is on record threatening to invade the farms of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And 3 weeks after, in fact, that accusation he made at Kenyaga High School, where I had invited him as an old boy, that is where he uttered the threats. And 3 weeks later, the farms were attacked. Kimani Ichung'wa is very close to President William Ruto. So you are
Shake and win millions of prizes with the AliExpress $1 challenge.
Uhuru Kenyatta.
So are you guys in good terms with former president? Because earlier in the week, we also saw the deputy party leader of his party, Jubilee, coming to see you. And is there a handshake that's coming between you and the former president?
Uhuru Kenyatta and I are brothers. He's my older brother. For your information, I served as personal assistant of President Uhuru Kenyatta for 7 years. I believed in